Well, this is a CBN News break. President Biden has tested positive for COVID today. A statement from the White House said this morning President Biden tested positive for COVID-19. He's fully vaccinated and twice boosted and experiencing very mild symptoms. He's begun taking Paxlovid. Consistent with CDC guidelines, he will isolate at the White House and will continue to carry out all of his duties fully during that time. Biden is 79 years old. Trey Goins-Phillips from CBN's Faith Wire is with me. Trey, a lot to digest here with the president coming down with COVID.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's getting COVID in 2022. It's a far cry from, for example, when President Trump then in 2020 got COVID, ended up being taken to the Walter Reed Hospital, was put on all kinds of different steroids and different experimental treatments because we didn't have anything at the time. And now President Biden has it, and he's on, like you said, Paxlovid, this Pfizer-developed drug that as long as you take it within 5 days of the onset of symptoms, it reduces your hospitalization chances by 90%. So it's just a much different story than we were at in 2020.
And it certainly seems anecdotally that COVID is going around. I mean, if you look at the CDC daily totals, there's a little bit of a rise this summer, but not a really dramatic one. And you wonder if some of that is just because maybe are they counting all the tests? Because I know at least in my circles, there's been a few families, popping up and they've gotten it and thankfully all mild. I think this current strain going around seems to be more mild, but it does seem to be going around.
Yeah, well, I think some of that is because this sub-strain, I guess you could call it, of the Omicron variant is much more resistant to immunity, whether it's from medication, vaccine, or from prior infection. So I think it is spreading quicker. But like you said, the symptoms are not very severe. So, even though it may be spreading a whole lot more and cases may be going up, and there is a slight uptick in hospitalizations, like I said earlier, it's nowhere near where it was before. So it's, in some ways, maybe a good thing that it's spreading because the more people that get it, the weaker it gets over time. That's just how viruses work, right?
And of course, the politics and all of this, you're already seeing people, using this as a political football back and forth on each side. And the president did just come back from an overseas trip in which a fist bump with a Saudi official made kind of a viral scene. And so he's just come back from that, but they say he's going to keep on working as even though his symptoms are mild and he's got it, he's going to keep on working through this.
Yeah, so he's going to continue with his regular work schedule. He's isolated in the West Wing. So he's going to be conducting meetings with people who are in the building, but over Zoom, so that he's not near them, so that they don't get sick. His symptoms are just mild, so he doesn't see any reason, at least at this point, to stop his regular work schedule. And I think to your point, Dan, it is easy to kind of shoot a political tweet out or something and try to claim some sort of told you so or gotcha moment. Victory if you're a conservative, and President Biden being a Democrat, and all the talking points that have been kind of whirling since COVID began. But I mean, the reality is he's 79 years old. He's traveling a lot. He's going to a lot of events. COVID is pretty widespread right now. So yeah, the chances of him getting it seemed were pretty high at some point.
All right. Well, thanks, Trey. We're going to keep watching this story and, of course, reporting on any further developments over on cbnnews.com and faithwire.com as well. And don't forget, you can catch us on the Quick Start podcast each weekday morning at 7 a.m. Go ahead and subscribe and follow to that. And we will see you there tomorrow morning.